The plasma storm raged across the methane seas of Titan 7, but David pressed forward through the toxic haze. His exosuit's sensors screamed warnings, but he had long learned to trust his instincts over machinery. Somewhere in this hellscape, two xenobiological specimens were dying, and despite every regulation in the colonial science charter, he couldn't let that happen. Elsa's voice crackled through his helmet comm. "David, turn back. The orbital station is tracking your vitals. If Command finds out you breached quarantine protocols—" "They're just hatchlings, Elsa," he interrupted, his boots sinking into the sulfuric mud. "The atmospheric collapse will kill them in minutes." Back on the research vessel Prometheus Dawn, Elsa stared at the bioscanner readings with growing dread. The life signs David was pursuing weren't registering as simple fauna. The quantum signature was unlike anything in the xenobiological database, ancient, complex, and impossibly powerful. Whatever those creatures were, they predated human space exploration by millennia. "David, listen to me," she said, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. "I'm reading quantum entanglement patterns in those life forms. They're not random animals. This could be—" Static swallowed her words as David descended into a crystalline cavern. There, huddled beneath a natural shield of frozen ammonia, he found them. Two creatures, each no larger than his forearm, with scales that shimmered like starlight and eyes that held an intelligence that made his breath catch. They were reptilian, draconic even, but their bodies pulsed with bioluminescent patterns that formed mathematical sequences he recognized from theoretical quantum physics. "Beautiful," he whispered, reaching out slowly. The hatchlings didn't flee. Instead, they crawled toward him, chirping in harmonics that his suit's audio processor struggled to interpret. Carefully, he secured them in his specimen container, environmentally sealed and temperature-controlled. "Got them," he reported, heading back. Elsa's response was immediate and urgent. "David, I've been running the quantum signatures through the Astroarchaeological Index. These aren't native to Titan 7. The database shows a 98% match with mythological descriptions from pre-contact human cultures. Dragons, David. Every civilization that achieved space flight reported encounters with quantum-based life forms matching this description." "Dragons aren't real, Elsa. They're just apex quantum organisms that exist partially outside our dimensional framework," she finished. "The ancients called them dragons because they couldn't comprehend what they were seeing. But the math doesn't lie. You didn't find random hatchlings. You found the offspring of something that human science barely acknowledges exists." David's hands trembled as he climbed back toward the surface. The hatchlings had gone quiet, their bioluminescent patterns now pulsing in perfect synchronization. Through his glove sensors, he could feel their body temperature rising, not with fever, but with energy. Pure, concentrated energy that shouldn't be possible in organic tissue. He emerged from the cavern just as Titan 7's primary moon crested the horizon. The hatchlings erupted in song, a frequency so precise it made his suit's quantum core resonate. And then the sky split open. It wasn't a tear in space-time, not exactly. It was more like reality folding in on itself, creating a passage through dimensions humans had only theorized existed. Through that impossible gateway descended a being that made David's knees buckle despite his exosuit's servo assistance. The Dragon King. It was massive beyond comprehension, its form shifting between solid matter and pure energy. Scales the size of starships reflected the light of 1,000 dead stars. Eyes like binary pulsars fixed on David with an intelligence that had witnessed the birth and death of galaxies. When it spoke, the sound bypassed his helmet entirely, resonating directly in his consciousness. "Human, you have preserved my kindred." David couldn't form words. His suit's AI had completely shut down, unable to process the quantum fluctuations emanating from the creature. Beside him, the specimen container opened of its own accord, and the hatchlings flew upward, spiraling around their parent in joyous reunion. On the Prometheus dawn, every system went haywire. Elsa watched in awe as her instruments detected quantum tunneling on a scale that should collapse local space-time. But instead of destruction, there was only precision, mathematical elegance that rewrote the rules of physics in real time. Human, the Dragon King continued, and now its voice carried warmth. Your species is young, impulsive, destructive, yet you risked your existence for Creatures not your own. This is unexpected. David finally found his voice. They were dying, I couldn't just leave them. The Dragon King tilted its cosmic head, considering. For several heartbeats that felt like eternities, it studied this fragile human in his primitive armor. Then it spoke words that would reshape human understanding of the universe. Your kind has been judged unworthy by the Accord. Your expansion through this sector was to be HALTD. Humanity would remain confined to your home system, WATCHED, until your species EVOLVED or DESTROYED itself. David's blood ran cold. What are you saying? I am saying that MY vote in the Accord now CHANGES. One human showed mercy when calculation DEMANDED preservation of self. If one can transcend base instinct, perhaps the species has potential. The Dragon King's form began to phase back through the dimensional gateway, its offspring clutched safely in fields of pure energy. But before it vanished completely, it extended one talon toward David. A single scale detached, drifting down to land in his palm. This is resonance keyed to your quantum signature, when your species faces its darkest hour, and it will activate this. We shall remember the human who saved our young when he BLIVED no one watched. The gateway sealed. Reality snapped back to normal parameters. David stood alone on the toxic surface of Titan 7, holding a scale that pulsed with power beyond human comprehension. Elsa's voice finally broke through the static. David, what just happened? Our instruments recorded a Category 10 quantum event, but the data makes no sense. Did you just make first contact with a Type V civilization? He looked down at the scale, then up at the stars where the Dragon King had vanished. I think I just saved humanity by saving 2 hatchlings. What? I'll explain when I get back, he said, securing the scale carefully. But Elsa, document everything, because we're not alone anymore, and apparently we never were. As the Prometheus dawn retrieved him, David couldn't shake one thought. He'd come to Titan 7 as a biologist breaking protocols. He was leaving as the human who'd changed his species' fate by choosing compassion over survival. The Dragon King had plans humanity never suspected, and now those plans included giving Earth's children one more chance.